Hi folks, LMP3 at Imola, and what a circuit this is. Although you better make sure you have some decent safety rating, that's all I'm going to say. So let's crack on with Fast Lap. Right then, fast lap done and dusted, and let me show you the rules tab. Now, this is going to be very important. Off-tracks occur with 4 wheels off the edge of the following described boundaries. Rejoin the track before the end of the curbing areas, blah, 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 blah. Right. Off-tracks around here are a huge pain in the rear end because in some areas there's a lot of curbing and you go off there and you go across the white line and you literally get the off-track. So treat every single corner as you've got to keep 2 tyres within that white line. It's fair and it is like racing, but when you're going quite quickly, it's a bit awkward to try and, you know, judge these millimeters and centimeters and in some cases meters of track to actually get it spot on the exit and things like that. So just treat this as a very, very 1xe circuit. I think I've been DQ'd here in other series at least twice due to off tracks, so it can happen. Just yeah, keep your car on the black tarmac stuff and you will be absolutely gone. But have a read of that. Take it with a pinch of salt because some of them are harsh. But yeah, some like this one, turn 7, the hairpin. If you go in that red mark, any 4 of those white tires cross that white line, which is on the inside of the curb for some reason, you will get an off track. It's guaranteed. So bear that in mind. Anyway, enough of me waffling. Info tab. We are using the fixed iRacing LMP3 setup for this, and a track tempo of 87 Fahrenheit, nice and cool, and a moderate usage of 44% is what I always use for these guides. Now the lap I'm going to show you is lap 12. My fastest was a 1:38.533. Did another 38.55 there and a 38.8 down here with sort of a new car but full of fuel. So I think that's a fair lap time. So I'm showing you lap 12, which is a 1:38.600. I think that's sort of mid to high 38s where I'm going to be sitting. I'd like to nip into low 37s. My optimal was a 37. I would like to nip into 37s. My optimal was a low 38. So it's definitely possible. Just trying to fine tune, particularly with this setup, the exits. The traction control comes in and steps in and helps you out, which may or may not be needed. But anyway, should be good round here. It's going to be better than Phillip Island. I know that, which was last week's circuit, and should be okay for multi-class as well. There's a lot of good straights here where the LMP3 can stretch their legs to get past the old GT4s. Annoyingly, there is a few corners that are quite slow that I wouldn't recommend going too wide, so I'll mention that on the way around. Otherwise, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and all that mumbo-jumbo stuff in the YouTube bit, and downstairs in the description, a link for me Discord where the OLAP, BLAP, telemetry, and replay file will all be in there, and also Garage 61 for telemetry. It's an online telemetry tool. Very, very useful for track guides because you can compare your lap time. Links down there for that as well. You can see all my pedal inputs and telemetry and all that, and you can overlay your one as well. So very, very useful if you are trying to find a bit of time. Otherwise, yeah, let's crack on with it. Right then, Imola, this great little circuit. Good start, finish straight down here. Slipstream might be possible, but getting past GT4s will be very easy down here. But we're hunting for the breaking point, and we're using this little bit of service road just so we get alongside it or past it. Brake nice and easy in a nice straight line to the far right-hand side of the curb. Take a little bit of curve through this, mind the sausages, but try and compromise it to make this corner full throttle. That is going to be really important for getting a good run down through this sort of open S's as it does, and then down to the next sort of left-right. It's going to be crucial to lap time getting a good exit out of there, so don't try and push the braking point. Make sure you get the good exit. Coming down now, and we're using the 50-meter sign or 50 board, whatever, on the right-hand side. Little double brakes down into 4th gear. Compromise this corner, stay far left as you can, down to 3rd now, and really try and open up this one. Get on throttle nice and smoothly. Do not run too far wide. There is a silly off track there, so bear that in mind. Bring this car over to the right hand side now and be careful about GT4s around this one. They may be a little bit quicker through here. Brake just as we pass the service road on the right hand side. Brake here. I short shift, I downshift into 1st again just to get the rotation around here, and then I do a little bit of a short shift on the way out. Just try and minimize the wheel spin as best we can. 2nd gear again, don't run too far wide. It's pretty pointless and you will lose traction. Up the hill now, this will be a good opportunity to go past the GT4s because this corner up here I would not recommend going too wide. Very, very tricky. 50-meter marker again. I'm going to brake just after it down to 3rd gear for this one. You can take more curb, but be careful of bouncing wide because there is a silly off track here on exit on the right hand side, so bear that in mind. Bring the car over to the left hand side, watch downhill. Do not go too wide for these next corners because they're dangerous, but you use the 50 board to graze the brakes on the way in. Give the curb a little cheeky tickle and then step on the brakes a little bit more. Always take this cautiously through here. It's a very, very tricky, complex corners and it can go wrong very, very quickly, which is why I say be careful of the GT4s. Keep on the left-hand curb there. It's absolutely fine, and try and stay mid-track here. The GT4 is coming down here. You might get a run on them, but be very careful into this last chicane. This chicane is very, very slow, so try not to overtake GT4s into it. Coming down here, you want to count the trees before the 50 board, so probably about the 3rd tree before it gets to the 50 marker. Brake in a nice straight line. 2nd gear for this one. Do not cut these corners. Stay at least a bit of a car in between the white lines of the circuit, and you're absolutely golden. And do not run too far wide. You'll get an off track, and even further wide, you'll get a slowdown, so bear that in mind. This little nice straight here is very nice and easy. Now we only got to worry about 2 more corners and they're both left-handers, so bring it over to the right-hand side. As we pass the 100-meter marker, brake in a nice heavy straight line downhill, so be careful about locking the front tyres. Nice and easy through here. Cheeky little tickle on the curb on the apex, and you can run a little bit wide here without too much worry. Don't go any more than that because it will be an off-track. And this one, I actually stay in 2nd for this one when I get to the apex. I would recommend short shifting into 3rd and trying to get a better exit that way rather than staying in 2nd and then change to 3rd on the gear. I think it just makes it a little bit too bumpy and a little bit too awkward trying to get that power down on the curb as well. So 3rd gear, short shift into that one. Blast the line, and the line is quite far away. So in other cars, I always recommend a slipstream, but there's not too much slipstream in this one, so you shouldn't have to worry about it too much. But that is us across the line in a 138.600. Very much enjoy Imola. It's a good circuit. It's a good fast circuit as well with a few corners, but there are some stupid slow ones in there, so be careful. Make sure you see the checkered flag, and otherwise don't forget to like and subscribe and do that lovely YouTube stuff, and I'll catch you on the next one.